Okay, so what kind of situation do we have at the moment on NZD CHF? Now, from a weekly perspective, what can we see? From the weekly, we can clearly see that the market has created this very nice impulse to the downside, followed by this nice retracement, and we would like to see the market make another move to the downside, or at least try to make another move to the downside. After an impulse and a correction, you at least want to see the market try to continue to the downside and then possibly fail to break lower and create a W formation, which is a manipulation pattern that market makers really like to create. But at least you want to see the market try to continue lower. Now, from a daily perspective, what kind of situation do we have on this pair? So we can clearly see from the daily that the market has been moving inside of this channel, and you would like to see the market possibly go and test the high channel before making a move to the downside. It doesn't really matter if the market will go and make the move to the up to the channel or it will just melt from here. Why? Because we are now at the decision level, okay? Here is exactly where we have this structure. We have this previous daily resistance, which is now turned support here. If the market will manage to break back below this area, then we can be looking for a shorting opportunity on the other side. If the market will bounce from here, then we will be looking at the high of the channel for the move to the downside. But before we will see basically exactly how this will go in play, let's go and see what we have at the moment from a COT perspective on the CHF and on the on the NZD. So basically checking what hedge funds are doing at the moment on these pairs. So let's start by looking at what hedge funds are doing on CHF. Now, from a CHF perspective, what kind of situation we have? We can see that with the last report, they closed more shorts. So they're basically showing an interest in closing their short positions on the CHF, and they already started to build up some long positions. Now, having CHF getting stronger is definitely good for our NZD CHF bearish outlook. So from a CHF perspective, everything is quite good. If we go and see what is the situation from an NZD perspective, we can see that overall it isn't as good as what we have from a CHF perspective, because in fact what we can see is that more or less net positions have remained the same for quite some time. So there is clearly some indecision on what a on what NZD is supposed to be doing in the future. So that is why, but that is always like this, guys. The market, you're never sure exactly what the market will do, but that is fine because it's not your job as a trader. Your job is not to try to predict the market. Your job is to react to what the market is showing and position yourself with the best risk to reward and best probabilities as possible. So where are the best probabilities and best risk to reward here on NZD CHF? Now, if from here, as we said earlier, the market will manage to basically bounce off this support area and go and test the high of the channel, then with students, we will be monitoring price action inside of this area, waiting for the market to shift from a bullish market to a bearish market from a 4-hour perspective and provide to us one of our valid entries. And if the market will do that, then we will be looking for a nice short with a very good risk to reward and very good probabilities for a move to the downside. On the other side, if the market will break below this support and below the trend line, then all of those levels will be turned resistance. And on the retest of them, what we will be doing with students, we will be monitoring price action on the 4-hour time frame, waiting for the market to provide to us one of our valid entries. And if the market will provide to us one of our valid entries, then we will be taking a nice short with a very good risk to reward and very good probabilities for a nice move to the downside. Now, if you enjoyed this free analysis and education, make sure to drop a like and a comment. It really does support the creation of more free education and analysis for all of you, and I will see you in the next video.